In the summer of 2020, I set out to rediscover my hometown, Munich, shortly after the city had reopened most of its attractions. In this video, I want to show you what visiting Germany is like now and give you some ideas on how to best spend your time in the amazing Bavarian capital. Hi guys, I'm Max Nomad, and today I want to show you my top 18 things to do in Munich, Germany during the new normal. Marienplatz is the heart and soul of Munich's city center. Its main attractions are the Mariensäule, Mary's Column from 1638, and the beautiful neo-Gothic Neues Rathaus, New Town Hall from 1909. The facade of the Neues Rathaus showcases the famous Glockenspiel that shows a medieval tournament on its upper floor and the Schäfflertanz, Cooper's Dance, on its lower floor. The Glockenspiel comes to life every day at 11 a.m., 12 p.m. and 5 p.m. Now we're gonna walk over to the side that is truly the symbol of Munich. The Frauenkirche from 1488 is Munich's most famous church. By law, no other building in the central city is allowed to stand taller than this iconic cathedral. Two of the most interesting sites on its inside are the cenotaph, empty tomb, of Duke Ludwig the Bavarian and the so-called Devil's Footprint. According to legend, the devil stomped his foot in this spot in furious surprise because from this exact vantage point, the Frauenkirche seems to have no windows at all. Alright, so I just get out of the church so I can take off the mask, and now let's go to the Hofbräuhaus. I'm now standing in front of the most famous beer hall in the world. I'm of course talking about the Hofbräuhaus. It was opened in 1644 and has been serving beer ever since. So let's go inside and find out what it's like to have a beer now during the new normal. The Hofbräuhaus is one of Munich's oldest beer halls and a symbol of German drinking culture. Its name, which translates to Court Brewing House in English, and its logo with the golden crown, come from the brewery's history as the royal brewery of the Kingdom of Bavaria. The beer hall became so popular with visitors from all over the world that there are now Hofbräuhaus franchises in the United States, Italy, Brazil, and even Australia. So now I'm inside the Hofbräuhaus. I had to wear my mask and register at the entrance before they would let me in. And now I'll hopefully be able to order a beer. And I think I can take off the mask now because I'm seated at the table. I think those are the rules. The beer arrived. It's awesome. And this is actually a Radler, so it's half beer, half lemonade, which is nice because you don't get drunk quite as fast. This is 1 liter. And then, of course, I ordered a really traditional dish. It's called Schweinshaxe, which is basically a roasted pork knuckle with potato dumplings, and it's absolutely delicious with dark beer sauce, because in Germany you can never have enough beer, I guess. You know what's really funny? As a local, I tend to avoid going to the Hofbräuhaus because it's usually so overcrowded with tourists, and I don't like this super touristic atmosphere. But now, with the new normal, it's almost completely empty and actually quite nice. I like the atmosphere. It's kind of quiet, cozy. It's great. After a short walk, I arrived at one of Munich's most impressive squares. The main sites on the Odeonsplatz are the Residenzpalast, the Feldherrnhalle, Field Marshal's Hall, and the stunning yellow Theatinerkirche. The square is important for German history because it was here in 1923 that the Bavarian police stopped the so-called Beer Hall Putsch, which was Adolf Hitler's first major attempt to seize power in Germany. The Hofgarten is the park of the Residenzkastle, and it's a beautiful place to come and relax in the center of Munich. I'm now in the English Garden, which is one of the biggest inner city parks in the world, and it's just gorgeous today with the sunny weather. As you can see, lots of people from Munich come here to hang out, and even in the new normal, it's quite busy. now standing in front of one of the main attractions here of the English Garden, the Eisbach Wave with the surfers. It's an amazing sight. They basically surf every day, all year round. Super cool to see. One of my favorite ways to get around in Munich is via e-scooter. So we're gonna take one of those here and go to the Crazy Ice Maker. The Verrückte Eismacher, Crazy Ice Cream Maker in English, is an Alice in Wonderland themed ice cream shop that offers lots of inventive flavors, some of which certainly can be classified as crazy. This is sauerkraut. It's so weird. That's so weird. That's Augustiner beer. That's actually pretty good. That's like the best beer in Munich. If you come to Munich, try the Augustiner. Everyone in Munich agrees that that's the best brand. And actually also tastes good as an ice cream. Next, I met up with my friend Jesko to have dinner at the Chinese Tower Beer Garden. Okay, so I met up with Jesko and now we're ready to get in line because there's a huge registration line. We have to leave our contact details so in case anyone gets sick, they could trace the people that might have been infected. So yeah, this is gonna be interesting. Let's see. So now we're at our table, so we're allowed to take off the mask finally, which is a relief. And we already got our beer. Cheers! First time in the beer garden. And the food arrived and looks pretty good. We got like about the most German things that you could get. So Jesko's got the curry sausage and I got the half chicken with potato salad. It looks delicious. Hi, Jesko. The next morning, I started my day by visiting one of Munich's most interesting parks. So today I'm here in the Olympic Park, which was built for the Olympic Games in Munich in 1972. The Olympic Park usually draws people all year round with concerts, sporting events and festivals. It features lots of popular attractions like a swimming hall, an ice skating rink, a mini golf course, a sea life aquarium and the Olympic Lake with padalos for rent. Now I'm up here on the Olympiaberg, which is a hill in the center of the Olympic Park, and it offers amazing views of the Olympic grounds and of course also of the city of Munich. Two of the main eye-catchers that you can see from the Olympic Hill are the 290-meter tall Olympic Tower and the Olympic Stadium, where Germany won its second Soccer World Cup title in 1974. On a clear day, the Olympic Tower offers spectacular views of Munich against the breathtaking backdrop of the Bavarian Alps. There is a little beer garden here right next to the peak of this little Olympiaberg. So this is a great place for rest and for a nice beer on the way down. Or of course, you could also have an ice cream there. Right on the edge of the Olympic Park, the BMW World and the BMW Museum are great places for car enthusiasts. The museum comprises 7 themed sections that trace the development of BMW's product line, and it also covers the company's involvement in motor racing. The futuristic BMW World acts as a massive showroom for BMW's latest models and innovations. And that is the BMW World. And if you buy a brand new BMW, you can actually pick it up right here and then try it out on the German highway afterwards, where there's no speed limits. I took the subway back to the center to visit one of the true showstopper sites of Munich. With 10 courtyards and 130 rooms on display, the Munich residence of the Wittelsbach rulers is the biggest city palace in Germany. Tours of the palace start at the beautifully decorated grotto court and continue through the famous antiquarium, a barrel-vaulted hall that contains the Bavarian monarch's enormous antique collection. I'm now inside the residence, which was the home of the Bavarian rulers from 1508 until the First World War. It's an amazing building and was widely considered to be one of the most impressive palaces in Europe during that time. And I mean, if you look behind me, I guess you'll agree. Some of the highlights of the palace include the Elector's rooms, decorated with stunning Italian portraits and landscapes, the exuberant Rococo-style rich rooms, the rich chapel, and the Emperor's quarters, called stone rooms, which are awash in colorful marble. Well, this museum was a true highlight. This castle is impressive. The residence is definitely one of the must-sees in Munich, and it's so cool because it's completely empty right now. With the new normal, there's no one in there. There was maybe 3 other visitors apart from me, and I really enjoyed it. I took an e-scooter to get to another one of Munich's main cultural draw cards. I'm now standing in front of the Kunstareal, which is a small area here in the center of Munich where you can find all of the best art museums. The most famous ones are the Alte Pinakothek, which is right there behind me, the Neue Pinakothek, the Pinakothek der Moderne, and the Museum Brandhorst. So for all of your art lovers out there, this is definitely your area in Munich. The Alte Pinakothek from 1836 houses one of the most important collections of old European masters in the world. Some of its most famous paintings include Albrecht Dürer's self-portrait, Titian's Emperor Charles V, Rubens' Last Judgment, Murillo's Two Children Eating a Melon and Grapes, and François Boucher's Marquise de Pompadour. This is definitely the right place if you want to see some grand masters like Rubens, Rembrandt, this kind of style. It's an impressive place. I started the next day off with a visit to Munich's biggest and most famous open-air market. I'm now in the center of the Viktualienmarkt, which is truly a gourmet's paradise. You can find all kinds of fresh fruits and vegetables here, but also cheese, honey, sausages. It's an amazing market and a great choice if you want to try some gourmet food in Munich. Many of the stands here at the Viktualienmarkt have been around for generations. The one behind me, for example, has been in business since 1903. That's more than 117 years. Crazy. After a quick stroll around the market grounds, it was time for lunch. The Viktualienmarkt also has a nice beer garden. Cheers. Really refreshing. Now here we have like an assortment of some of the most typical dishes from Munich. This one is cream cheese with some spices and raw onions. It's called Oberster and it's delicious with pretzels. And here are the Weisswürste, the white sausages, which are super popular as well, especially as breakfast food. Traditional Bavarian breakfast is actually white sausages with pretzels and a beer, of course. Definitely try the Weisswurst. It's one of the best dishes there is. I walked through Munich's busy pedestrian zone to get to my next destination. Karlsplatz, or Stachus, as the locals call it. Together with the other big central squares Marienplatz and Odeonsplatz and the Sendinger Tor, the Karlsplatz Square outlines Munich's big pedestrian zone, which is the perfect place to go shopping in Munich. Fun fact, by the way, if we want to say that something is really busy in Bavarian, which is the regional dialect here, we say "Da geht's jetzt zu wie am Stachus," and we mean it's as busy as the Stachus Square here in the center of Munich. I took the subway and the tram to get to another famous site. Usually the best ticket for visiting Munich is the day pass, single Tageskarte it's called. This will get you anywhere you need to go really in Munich. I'm now standing in front of the Schloss Nymphenburg, the Nymphenburg Castle, which used to be the summer palace of the Bavarian kings and queens until the abolition of monarchy in Bavaria in 1918. It's a perfect place for a summer stroll in sunny Munich. Apart from the gorgeous palace grounds that are very popular with locals, Nymphenburg Palace features sumptuous period rooms including the famous Schönheitengalerie, a gallery with 38 portraits of attractive women chosen by King Ludwig I. The palace also hosts the Marstall Museum, which displays royal coaches and riding gear, and a large porcelain collection. And as a great bonus tip, if you're visiting the Nymphenburg Castle, there's an excellent ice cream shop very close to it called Sarcletti. It's one of the best ice cream places in Munich, and I got my favorite combination of Stracciatella, Malaga and Amarena Cherry. It's delicious. Sarcletti is really one of the best ice cream places in Munich. So good. So good. For dinner, I met up at a very special place with my good friend Andreas.
Hi, how are you doing?
So now we're in my favorite restaurant here in Munich. It's the L'Osteria, and it's famous for the huge pizzas that we have here. And the pizza I got here is salsiccia picante and capricciosa, two of my favorite pizzas mixed into one. Andreas ordered Munich's most typical drink.
I've been drinking some Augustiner Helles, which is a local Munich beer, and it's a brand that's been here for maybe 700, 800 years already.
It's the best beer in Munich.
It's very delicious, and yeah, it's just nice to go out again. First time coming to a real restaurant in quite a long time, and it's just to enjoy some Bavarian, we call it Gemütlichkeit. It's just feeling of enjoying yourself, relaxing, and having kind of a good time.
So those are my recommendations for Munich. What are yours? If you're from there or if you've been there before, please make sure to leave your tips and advice in the comment box below this video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to Max Nomad for new travel videos published every day. I'm Max Nomad, and I will talk to you soon.